Welcome to Move the Sticks. I'm Bucky Brooks, your host, and I am with Adam Thielen, the winner of the 2024 Walter Payton Man of the Year Award presented by Nationwide, will be announced during the NFL Honors, a primetime award special to air nationally on Fox and the NFL Network on Thursday, February 6th. But Adam, I'm really excited to talk to you about all of the things that you have going on. But first, how are you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, thanks for having me on. It's always good to talk to you. But yeah, all good. Just in that prep week as we have this kind of finish part of the season. So it's always a grind the last 4 weeks of the season. You're tired, your body hurts, but once you get to Sunday, you're just ready to go and play and compete, which is always fun.
Yeah, that part is always fun. But before we even get to talking about like the fun stuff that you're doing on the field, let's talk about off the field and your work in the community with your foundation and those things. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing and how you're impacting the kids around.
Yeah, well, my wife and I, we felt like we've been given a platform, and it was really to give back to others. We felt like God gave us this opportunity and these resources to not just hold to ourselves, but to give to others and to provide resources, opportunities for others. And the way that we decided that we felt like was our biggest calling was youth. And our mission statement is to help youth reach their full potential. And over the last 6 years of starting our foundation, we've really kind of tried to find the best way or the biggest impact that we've seen through some of the giving back we've given. And a lot of it, the most impact we felt was through sport. Really, we call it our initiative Change Through Sport, right? Giving resources, opportunities to youth to help them, really be proud of going and working out and providing a really beautiful workout space for high school athletes in these in areas that they don't have a lot of resource. So it's been really cool to be able to do that stuff that maybe I had taken for granted when I was growing up. Having those great facilities, or not even necessarily great facilities, but just having some resources and something that to be proud of. And so it's really cool to be able to go in there and see the faces of these kids and see what it's just kind of the attitude changer that it is for them to have something that they're proud of.
One of the things that I know everyone who gives back, they always do it from the kindness of their heart, but it's always great to be recognized. So what does it mean to you to be nominated as a Walter Payton Man of the Year?
Yeah, well, it is a great honor. I never really enjoy like personal, awards, especially off the field, because that's not why my wife and I do it. But at the same time, it is such a great honor to represent this organization, this team, the players that do so much in the community. This is not an individual award. This is truly a collective award for this organization, and also for all the people who have helped make those impacts through our foundation in this community here in Charlotte, back home in Minnesota. There's so many people that have really kind of they kind of believe in the mission and have really just backed us from the very beginning. So very thankful for all the people involved, and really everybody is a part of this award. But yeah, it is a great honor, and it's something that you have to live up to, right? When you get an award like this, it makes you want to make sure that you're doing all those things to the highest of your ability to make an impact, because you have been given such a great honor.
And thinking about the great honors that you've been given, to think about the length that you've played in this National Football League, to be in the twilight of your career, to still be able to help others off the field. But what about the young players that you have an opportunity to mentor and teach on the field? One of those players, obviously, is your quarterback, Bryce Young, former #1 overall pick. He's really grown by leaps and bounds this year. What have you seen from him?
Yeah, well, number one, before I get into it, it's something that I really enjoy doing. It's something that has probably made me extend my career because I enjoy that part of the game so much. But obviously, he's been playing great. He's been such a great leader in this locker room through some tough times, challenging times the last couple of years. But just to see him as a person, how he's really just taken it by the horns, and some of those tough times, and just really tried to focus on himself and how he could get better and how he could be a better teammate and leader and football player on the field, and then for him to kind of translate to the football field, has been really impressive. And he's a guy that guys rally behind, because of his mindset, because of his work ethic, because of the way he treats people, not only teammates but staff and everybody throughout this organization in this building. So he's definitely a guy you root for and happy for when he starts to have success like he's having.
Like even in your own wide receiver room, we could talk about young players at quarterback, but some of the young wide receivers that you're playing with, Xavier Legette is beginning to kind of come into his own. What are some of the things that you're trying to talk to young wide receivers about to help them not only become professionals, but to help them become very productive as they think about starting their NFL journeys?
Yeah, step number one for me is I really try to just build relationships, just try to really get to know them as people, to make sure that it's known that I care about them and want to have a relationship with them. And then from there, I can kind of feel where I need to, be a mentor, where I need to help, and just to be available. Really, I just want them to know that they can always come to me with anything, good, bad, ugly. Come to me because I'm sure I've been through it and been down that same road. So yeah, just try to be help where I can. And then again, that's something that I really enjoy about this game, is to really lead and to help them understand the game a little bit better, help them to really have great careers. I get to watch a guy like Justin Jefferson, the success he's
Yeah.
had, and to just be around that, and not saying that I had anything to do with that success, but just to be around it and try to help there, and then see where that success goes. It's going to be the same thing with Xavier and Jalen, guys who they do things the right way. They work hard, they ask questions, and I just can't wait to see them in 5-6 years of just kind of them being able to go full circle and help others as well.
It's funny that you brought up Justin Jefferson's name, because I think you and Justin Jefferson have been part of a trend at the wide receiver position where we're seeing DJ and I always talk about the craftsmen are the ones that are beginning to take over at wide receiver as opposed to the super athletes. And not saying that you guys aren't super athletes, but the guys who are detail route runners, the guys who have to polish when it comes to setting up defenders and those things. In your time in the league, have you seen skilled players begin to have more success on the league than maybe some of their maybe more athletic brethren who may not be as polished when it comes to the fundamentals?
Well, I think the game has evolved into, you can't be one or the other. You can't just be very skilled, or you just can't be very athletic. It has evolved to the point where it's just guys are too good, schemes are too good, coaching is too good, to just be one or the other. You have to really be an all around receiver. And I think the greatest players in this game right now, especially at the receiver position, are guys that can do everything. They can go in the slot. They can work intermediate routes. They can stretch the field down the field. They can make plays when the ball is in the air. There's this kind of like all around receiver that you're seeing. Those are the guys that are really at the very best right now. The guys that can do everything. So again, I just feel like you can't just be one or the other. And I think that's something that I really try to spread to the young guys is don't just rely on the things that you're really good at. Really try to focus on becoming that all-around receiver. Tell the coach, hey, I can go run a slant route. I can go run a choice route. I can do those things, and then prove it day in and day out. And it's only going to allow you to get more opportunity and have more success.
When I entered the league as a wide receiver, my wide receiver coach was Charlie Joyner. And Charlie Joyner always talked about the more that you can do gives you an opportunity to carve out a career. And so for you, I've seen you grow and develop and be a guy that can play multiple positions and be an interchangeable piece on that offense. One, how challenging is it to learn the entire route tree and to learn where you fit from different spots? And two, why is it essential to be a guy that can be versatile like that for an offense?
Yeah, I think it can be challenging, but I think it's a challenge usually that motivates guys. Like it's the fun part of the game, right? It's fun to learn an offense, to understand why you're doing this or that, or why the coaches wants to move you around and motion you and get you in stacks, get you singled up at times. I think it's really a cool part of the game, and when you start to understand it, it just makes you more excited to play the game. But yeah, I think it's crucial because it just gives the play caller um, the ability to do a lot of things with you and find ways to get you the ball, especially when you start to have success. teams start to put eyes on you. And if you can only play one position, it's a lot easier for the defensive coordinator to take you out of the game. So the more that you can move around and be able to adjust and play multiple positions, it just allows the offense coordinator to do a lot more with you. And again, it's all in this league. It's all about opportunity. You're just creating more opportunity for yourself to be able to get open and make plays.
It's fascinating watching your journey, to watch you kind of go and to crack the rotation, then to become a starter, then to become a guy that plays as a number one receiver. When you think about number one receivers, one, how would you categorize what a true number one receiver is in this NFL landscape?
Well, in my opinion, a number one receiver is a guy, again, who can go down the field. He can go run a choice route. He can go beat one-on-one coverage, man-to-man, third down. A number one receiver is a guy that you can move around and find ways to get him the ball when you need a big play. He's going to be a reliable guy to go and make that big play for you. So again, I just think that to be a number one receiver in this league, you can't just be good at one thing. You have to be to do a lot of things well. And I think the best ones that are doing it nowadays are doing it with the ball in their hands. The ball in their hands as well. Run after catch, catch and split, catch and make guys miss. Take a 10-yard catch into a 40-yard catch, or take a score from depth. My coach, my first 5 years, Coach Stu, always said, "Hey, this week we're going to score from depth." Right. And that takes a lot of pressure off the offensive coordinator if you can score from the 40 or from the 50 or the opposite 40, rather than just getting tight into the red zone and having to kind of keep calling plays. So those guys are usually the number one guys that can really score from depth.
I love that because George Stewart is always one of my favorites. And one of the things I want to ask you, because this kind of ties into a little bit of the work that you do with young people. So if we go back and talk to the high school athlete that Adam Thielen was, and we would have an opportunity to drop some nuggets that you've learned along the way, what would you tell the young high school athlete who has like pro aspirations or dreams of doing it on a big stage? What would you tell that player to start thinking about when they're in high school?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just take it one day at a time. Truly enjoy every single day, and take advantage of it. Right? Like if you don't say, "Hey, next year I'm going to get in the weight room," or "Next year I'm going to work a little harder," or "Next week I'm going to do this. I'm going to take my nutrition seriously." No, it's today. Today is the only day you're promised. And I know it's hard to do that as a young person to really focus on the day and to really take it all in as today is your only day that is promised. But when you can truly do that day after day, I think that's something that now I look back at as how I kind of got to where I am is I truly just took it one day at a time and focused on the day and gave everything I got one day at a time. And then you look back, you're like, oh my gosh, I put so much time and effort and work and consistency over the last 2, 3, 4 years. And it's really helped me to have confidence and really to really feel good about the work I put in, so I can just go and play free or go and just be myself. So yeah, just that consistency day in, day out will give you a lot of confidence and it'll prepare you to have success.
Wrapping up, because you've been really generous with your time, but I kind of want to get you on this because the league has changed so much, where wide receivers went from being like kind of complementary pieces to the offensive puzzle to now you're seeing wide receivers really viewed as premium players, and they're paid like premium players. What do you think has gone in terms of the shift where there is more value for the wide receivers and they are getting their just due as essential pieces to a championship offense?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just you can't find a lot of them that will really be a difference maker. And I think when you find one that is a difference maker and is going to help you win football games and be consistent, help you move the sticks to provide your opportunity to score more points, it's just such a crucial piece to your offense and your team. And so I think that consistency, when you find it, you make sure that you keep it, right. And I'm not sure exactly why that has changed over the years, but I just feel like if you can get a couple good ones again that you can lock up and be consistent, it is a difference maker. You look at the two guys in Minnesota right now, Justin and
Killing it.
Addison. I mean, those guys
Killing it.
are tough to stop, right? And it's an offensive coordinator's dream to have guys like that take pressure off one another. So again, you can't just have one, right? When you have one, the defense can do things to take a guy away. to make it tough on the offense. But when you have multiple guys, multiple playmakers all across the field, especially on the outside, that can make a difference. It makes it really difficult for the defense, and it makes it a really advantageous for the offense and the coordinator.
No, that's great, man. It's great that you mentioned that, because looking at the NFL last week, it was Addison and Jefferson going crazy, Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp going bananas. We've seen the Philadelphia Eagles duo with Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown have success. It almost is kind of like essential that you have two guys that can play, and a lot of times those guys are interchangeable, because I saw you do that with Stephon Diggs. You've done it with other guys throughout your career. This has been so great to chat, man. Thanks so much for what you do in the community, being a North Carolina product, having spent time with that organization. I know the kids in Charlotte certainly benefit that, as well as the kids in Minnesota that you've also helped. So we'll look forward to seeing you hopefully win the Walter Payton Man of the Year. Thanks so much for joining the program, Adam Thielen.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Man, shout out to Adam Thielen for joining the show today. Really enjoyed the conversation, really enjoyed his insight about playing the wide receiver position. He has become one of the best in the business, and to do it as an undrafted free agent speaks volumes about his skill level and also his work ethic. So you certainly appreciate that. The other thing we appreciate is the fact that he is a Walter Payton Man of the Year honoree, and hopefully you'll check out the winner of the 2024 Walter Payton Man of the Year award presented by Nationwide. It'll be announced during the NFL Honors, a primetime award special to air nationally on Fox on NFL Network on Thursday, February 6th. Until next time, I'm Bucky Brooks. This is Move the Sticks. Talk to you.